In this video, we're going to decide who can view each document in your knowledge base. Let's start with something that often gets overlooked. Your document already has an answer to that question the moment you upload it. When you upload a file, there is a scope option set to Inherit from Folder by default, and most people leave it as is, often without giving it a second thought. So if you uploaded it to a department's folder, it becomes visible to that department automatically, without any deliberate decision on your part. Most of the time, that works well because it keeps things organized where they belong. The problem begins when a document is useful to people outside of that folder. Think about this. You have a document saved in your area, and it turns out another department needs it for their work. But since they aren't part of your area, they can't see it. So, what do? Do you send it by email or upload it again to another folder, leaving them with two copies of the same document that will be updated separately every time? Neither option works. That's exactly why scope exists, and that's what we're going to cover. In our example, we have the data privacy policy. It is located in the customer success folder because that is the team that uploaded it. Let's check its scope. We open the information, and here it says, Current scope, department, and in parentheses, inherited. This is exactly what we were talking about. That scope wasn't chosen specifically for this document. It simply kept whatever the folder was carrying. Here's the problem. A data privacy policy isn't just a customer success matter. The policy applies to the entire company, but as things stand today, people in finance or sales don't have access to it. It's stored, but it's stored for only a few. Let's fix it. A little further down on the same screen, there is a section labeled Change Scope. We open it, and here you'll find everything you need. The first thing you'll see are two modes. The first is Inherit from Parent, which is the one currently set, meaning this document uses the same scope as its folder. Pay attention to the notice that appears, because it clearly explains what this implies. If the scope of customer success ever changes, the scope of this document will automatically change along with it. For most of our files, this is convenient and works well. However, in this case, we don't want that, because this policy shouldn't depend on what happens with that department. We select Manual Configuration, which gives this document its own scope, and then you decide, Private means it's only for you and no one else can see it. Department makes it available to the members of your department, which is what we have today. Team restricts it to one of the teams you've created, so the document is shared with that specific working group rather than an entire area. This option is useful if you already have teams set up within your organization. Organization opens it up to everyone in your organization. For our policy, the answer is clear. It applies to everyone, so we select Organization and click the Save Changes button. Look at the top. Where it previously said Inherit, it no longer does. This document now has its own scope, chosen by you, and no longer depends on where it is stored. The change doesn't stop at that label. In the left panel, we go into Shared, and then into Organization. And there's our policy. It's the only one, because only documents shared with the entire company appear here, and ours is the first. It's worth mentioning this now, because this is where people tend to get confused. The document was not copied or moved. Look below the name. It still shows its original path, Customer Success. What you see here is a reference to the same file, not a copy. The original remains exactly where it has always been. Shared is not a folder from which you send documents. It's a view that gathers what you're sharing and shows how far it reaches. That's why you don't need to reorganize your folders to share something. You keep each document where it makes sense to store it, and the scope determines who can see it. So every time you upload something, it's worth asking the question, is this just for me? Is it for my department? Or is it useful for the entire organization? If you don't answer, the folder will answer for you. And this goes beyond just who opened the file. Your knowledge is what fuels your agents, and the scope also determines who that knowledge is available to when they need it. A document with the correct scope reaches everyone who should have access to it. One with an overly broad scope exposes information that should never leave your team.